Sri Aurobindo once said about the mother,
The one whom we adore as the Mother is the divine conscious force that dominates all existence. One and yet so many-sided that to follow her movement is impossible even for the quickest mind and for the freest and most vast intelligence. The Mother is the consciousness and force of the Supreme and far above all she creates.
the mother herself remarked,
There is only one thing of which I am absolutely sure, and that is who I am. Sri Aurobindo also knew it and declared it. Even the doubts of the whole of humanity would change nothing to this fact. Throughout all this life, knowingly or unknowingly, I have been what the Lord wanted me to be. I have done what the Lord wanted me to do. That alone matters.
explaining the mother's true status, Sri Aurobindo said,
The divine puts on an appearance of humanity, assumes the outward human nature in order to tread the path and show it to human beings, but does not cease to be the divine. It is a manifestation that takes place, a manifestation of a growing divine consciousness, not human turning into divine. The Mother was inwardly above the human even in childhood.
The mother was born on 21st February 1878 in Paris. Named Blanche Rachel Mira Alfassa, she lived in France until 1914.
When and how did I become conscious of a mission which I was to fulfill on earth? It is difficult to say when it came to me. It is as though I were born with it, and following the growth of the mind and brain, the precision and completeness of this consciousness grew also. From the age of 5, I was conscious that I did not belong to this world, that I did not have a human consciousness. My sadhana began at that age. There was a small chair for me on which I used to sit, still, engrossed in my meditation. A very brilliant light would then descend over my head and produce some turmoil inside my brain. Of course, I understood nothing. It was not the age for understanding. But gradually, I began to feel I shall have to do some tremendously great work that nobody yet knows.
The mother's early education was given at home. She began going to school only at the age of 9. In the following statement, the mother once spoke of her inner experiences.
Between 11 and 13, a series of psychic and spiritual experiences revealed to me not only the existence of God, but man's possibility of uniting with Him, of realizing Him integrally in consciousness and action, of manifesting Him upon earth in a life divine. This, along with a practical discipline for its fulfillment, was given to me during my body's sleep by several teachers, some of whom I met afterwards on the physical plane. Later on, as the interior and exterior development proceeded, the spiritual and psychic relation with one of these beings became more and more clear and frequent. And although I knew little of the Indian philosophies and religions at that time, I was led to call him Krishna, and henceforth I was aware that it was with him whom I knew I should meet on earth one day, that the divine work was to be done. Between the age of 19 and 20, I had achieved conscious and constant union with the Divine Presence, and I had done so all by myself, with absolutely nobody to help me, not even books.
From 1912, the mother began to note down in her diaries the experiences she had while meditating in her room, Rue du Val-de-Grâce, in Paris. Most of these notes were written between 1912 and 1917. The mother made a selection of them, and they were published later under the title Prayers and Meditations. She was soon to embark on the fulfillment of a long-cherished dream, to go to India, the country, as she wrote, she had always seen as a true mother country. In 1914, this joy was granted to her. On 29th March, she arrived in Pondicherry and met Sri Aurobindo.
As soon as I saw Sri Aurobindo, I recognized in him the well-known being whom I used to call Krishna. And this is enough to explain why I am fully convinced that my place and my work are near him in India. It matters little that there are thousands of beings plunged in the densest ignorance. He whom we saw yesterday is on earth. His presence is enough to prove that a day will come when darkness shall be transformed into light, and thy reign shall be indeed established upon earth.
Nalinikanta Gupta recalls what Sri Aurobindo said about the mother.
The first time that Sri Aurobindo described her qualities, he said he had never seen anywhere a self-surrender so absolute and unreserved.
In 1920, the mother left Japan for India, reaching Pondicherry on the 24th of April. Of her arrival, Sri Aurobindo commented in a letter, "The sadhana and the work were waiting for the mother's coming."
I was on boat, at sea, not expecting anything. I was, of course, busy with the inner life, but I was living physically on the boat. When, all of a sudden, abruptly, about 2 nautical miles from Pondicherry, the quality, I may even say the physical quality of the atmosphere, of the air, changed so much that I knew we were entering the aura of Sri Aurobindo. It was a physical experience, and I guarantee that whoever has a sufficiently awakened consciousness can feel the same thing.
At first, the mother was called Meera. Then from around September 1926, she started to be called the Mother. As Nalinikant Gupta recalled,
In the beginning, Sri Aurobindo would refer to the mother quite distinctly as Meera. No one knows for certain on which particular date, at what auspicious moment, the word Mother was uttered by the lips of Sri Aurobindo. But that was a divine moment in unrecorded time, a moment of destiny in the history of man and earth. For it was at this supreme moment that the Mother was established on this material earth in the external consciousness of man.